5:24 and I've got a very annoyed and hungry Great Dane watching my every move. So this might be a case of Ninja Turtles, or it might be a case of she murders me on camera. So, alright, so, yeah. So, thinking about Passai in the middle of my sleep. This has been a kata that I've been working on for a while. Obviously, like a lot of other people, I practice the movements. And this is a kata that I've known for, 35 years in some form or fashion. First learned in Shotokan with Sensei Larry Urel, then Shitaru later under Sensei Rob Rivers. I've learned and picked up a couple of other versions, one from Sensei Barry Wake, and then one from Sensei Matt Kohler. And in every case, my understanding of the movements is increased, but only recently I've been actually also working the meaning of the kata, and then incorporating some of my own experience with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, takedown experience that I've gained through previous martial arts studies, previous karate studies. So I'm recording this really for my own posterity. I may share this later. I don't know. But I'll go through the kata real quick to kind of catalog what I'm talking about, and then I'll go through each of the sequences and to record my understanding of what I think is happening. And if I don't know what's happening at that point, I'll just say it. So, pardon the audience, they may get bumped along the way. Try that one more time without quite the same distraction, or not. I'll say too is that I haven't quite refined my practice of the kata to update my understanding. Once I start doing that, this is something that, again, from my personal experience, the kata will look a little bit differently than the way that I learned it. apologize for the lighting. Like I say, it's early morning. I don't mean to be the Mr. Mysterious man in the shadows. Okay, so opening sequence. Here to here. So see the same position in Seiyuchin. I like to think of this as when he's grabbing, the same side grab, it becomes a nikyo. So boom. Right, just initially to break posture. Now, why do we cross our feet? Well, we also see the same posture here in Heian Godan, or Pinan Godan, sorry. Shotokan, Pinan Godan. You know, we're just across. So we're here, right? Okay, so we've broken posture. We're not going to stay here and die on this hill though. So the next movement comes across this way. To me, it's a pretty good indication that there's a throw or takedown or something that's moving. So broken posture, grab, boom. Either hip throw or taitoshi. Pummeling, same thing again, boom, this way. Right, so my personal opinion is that in this particular kata, there's at least there's an understanding that these postures is pummeling when you're in close proximity. I think that my interpretation of this kata is it's very much so a grappler heavy kata. I also could just be the grappler bias. But so we're here, another underhook, grab, turn, throw across. All right. And then again a pump. All right. Now, what the kata's not going to do, the kata's not going to teach us how to move somebody back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So it's going to give us the major muscle movements and the idea behind what's happening. Now, this move, we're pulling something. And notice when we do this movement, we're pulling back. So we want to pull back our opponent's leg. So their lead leg is here. We want to capture that, right? I mean, capture the leg. I mean, I prefer to capture the leg so that it's on the outside. Yeah, so there's a turning movement. So here, drawing back, boom, capturing that leg. Now that opponent's here, throwing an elbow into their knee or something, pull them off balance. Now, if I'm on the inside, here's that additional piece here, then the kata gives us this stiff arm over the face, right? Still collected the leg, all right, and then stiff arm them. Now, again, the other thing that's not being presented in the kata is taking them down and finish them, right? Or maybe there is that. In Seidokan version that I'm studying with Sensei Matt Kohler, there is this movement here in that same sequence. So in the version that I presented to you, it's not there. This is here, boom. You know, now you could do that, boom, right? So I've got the leg, collected leg, you know, wow, boom, there goes the supporting leg. And then as they're going, bam, drill them down, right? So maybe that's how I'll update my anyway. So leg is here, collect the face, whack. Or that could be start of a different sequence. Because we've already got them here, finish the takedown, boom. Now here, so the upper wrist grab, one, say hi to the face, whack, you know, collect an arm bar, collect a shoulder lock, get an under hook, grab, whack, again, boom, all right. Now, this pull back hand could be there's a transition here where this hand, when I'm grappling, I like to pull the sleeve and pull it across like that, right? Commonly call it Russian arm tie or arm drag if you're a wrestler. So a lot of wrestlers just call it an arm drag, frame. Now, while I've got shoulders turned this way, there's a foot sweep that looks very much so like this, off of an arm drag. Boom, back. So, I think the Kata is telling us to sweep the leg, Johnny. 1, 2, arm bar. 3, Shionagi, frame, collect, there's a wrist lock here. It doesn't mean that all this stuff is contiguous, or there's obviously a collection of techniques that we can work with here. I don't know why I just went out of focus. All right, there's a collection of techniques that any one given movement can house a variety of techniques. When I think of this, like Shionagi, I think arm bar, or that sweep, foot sweep that I was describing earlier. So there's 3 possible techniques. There's 3 sequence of 3. Conveniently, I have 3 techniques for these. This is what I'm going through in my brain whenever I'm thinking. So anyway, even though it's not necessarily a continuous series, there's this here, right? So off another knee keel, and since I colors, knees are quite painful with him, so throw a lot of nice structure in there and really make that sucker hurt. All right. Now, if you got them here and they're hurting, their face is down here, this is simply a kick in the face, and then starts with the carcass and move along. You notice that I was here and I switched to here. Okay, so I had 2 things going on here simultaneously. 1, I get the knee keel. 2, I've transitioned to get an underhook. And really, for that sequence, if I'm going to do this, boom, 1, step into the hot bush, or an Uchimata, whichever your flavor. But this, you pull one arm this way, get under the other arm, right? Keep the elbows down just to keep in your power zone. Step, sweep, and go ahead. Now, shoot though. Different styles have a different range of motion here, and for me, it's context dependent. If I'm framing on somebody, the shoot though is going to be here. If I'm whacking them in the neck, it's going to be here. If I've grabbed an arm and I'm blocking the wrist, putting an elbow on them, that's going to look a little different. So, 1. Or, we've passed it, we've blocked, we've collected, we've whacked somebody in the neck. So there's a lot just in this lovely movement here that to play with. But be that as it may, you could also go under, like you see in Goju Shiho or Seisan and Goju, to get that grappling, get that pummeling, get that pump. So here, right? 1, 2. Now, again, for me, because this kata really speaks to me in my experience with with working out with a lot of grapplers, I find myself in this position a lot. An underhook. I've collected an arm. This movement is trying to throw up those arms, collect under. So do this, but really this. So you can collect up under the back and then just drive into your opponent, and it's a nice takedown. It could also be boom, and a single or double leg takedown. So this could be classic shoots. And then if you can't get the single leg, grab the knee, punch up into the shoulder. Now you got an ankle pick or knee pick. Either way, there's this little sequence here. 1, 2, or 3. There's 3 different takedowns just in that short sequence. This here. Oh, look, stand like a statue. Now, there's 2 different things here. One, my training partner and I, John, playing with this on Saturday. We found a really nice arm lock. You stretch somebody's, so off the Russian arm drag, you hook your funny bone right here, stretch that arm out. It's nasty, it hurts like hell, and it's going to get your attention, and it's going to take the mind off of anything else that's happening. So you can either do the near side arm if that's all you've been able to collect, or you're dragging that arm across, getting the underhook, bam. Get another hit throw like a koshiguruma. This sequence, so off the grab, kick the leg, elbow to a short rib. It's nothing sexy. I think that's part of the reason why I like it. As somebody's bent over, there's this sequence here. This one confounded me for the longest time. If you haven't ever done it, if somebody's bent over, I'll make another video about this, but just look, I tell you what, instead of me just doing another video, look up the Darce choke. You're shooting an arm over and under. You're trapping an arm like this. And then you're doing this. You also see this in some versions of Pinan Sandan. We also see it in some versions of Kusanku. Alright, so anyway, we're here, 1, 2, 3. Let's also not mistake the fact that there's just a circular motion going on here that can be pushing and hooking, pushing, hooking, pushing, hooking. But this is a very particular motion. There's also, if I grab a collar and push somebody's head down, into a loop choke. So Darce and loop choke. Or if you really want to just get nasty, do an Ezekiel. You can grab somebody's collar and do an Ezekiel from behind. So loop choke, Darce, Ezekiels. So all your Nage, so nice little Nagewaza sequence right here. You do 3 of them, we get 3 chokes. Darce, loop, Ezekiel. All right. Now, the second time I did this, you saw me step here and just step straight out. Then here, hook, straight out. I did that on purpose. Catching the wrist, turning it, rolling it back out. So 1, 2. There's a little bit of 280 there. And here, you go. Yeah, so there's small joint manipulation, and there's the body drop. So as I'm pulling somebody in, collecting a leg, we're going to see this in the hachi, right? So same concept, and now I'm just pushing them this way. So, or I hit them in the head and then a kidney at the same time. Yeah. I mentioned this earlier and I haven't had my coffee. Alright, so sweep, punch, collect the arm, stick the arm bar, boom, roll the wrist out, or as we're doing it, same time, dropping, just work the timing, whichever one you feel comfortable with. But this is really nice if you've got somebody here, you got their arm, having a hard time throwing them this way, having a hard time throwing them this way. The grapevine leg. Is it Ochigari? Yeah. Ochigari, grapevine leg, and take it. So if I'm here, where I've got some sort of underhooks again, yeah, this is a nice start point, right? Slip this under. Oh. Itosu. Right? Simple. Like the simplest explanation I can come up with. You want a slightly more advanced, well not advanced, but slightly harder to pull off, I think, move is you're grabbing the arm and you're dropping an arm bar, right? So, arm bar, right. And we're just really going to repeat the same sequence for posterity on the other side. Now, the end, like to stay sticky here. Thanks to Sensei Matt Kohler. There's 280 here. This is the portion where I'm thinking more 280, less block and frame and grappling. So at the end, I'm thinking 280, grabbing something here, hitting, putting things into place where I want them and getting structure so I can block somebody. We even see this when you watch Passai show on Shotokan. You'll see this. This is a very specific lock that we practice with Sensei Matt. Anyway, like I say, I have no idea if I'll share this or not, or if I'm just talking to myself. I really like this kata. I think there's a lot to unpack there. Obviously, I'm not claiming that this is the right answer, but as my practice has evolved, this is the one that I found has a lot of utility in it. I try to exercise at least 1 or 2 things from this. In BJJ, Randori, which people are like, oh, you do. I say I do very good karate in BJJ. When I'm standing up, and it's not that good, by the way. But it gives me an opportunity to practice some of these principles. And so if you're in a karate dojo, I recommend, if you're thinking that this is blocking a punch, you're turning, you're blocking another punch, you're somehow sweeping a low kick and turning to another guy who's blocking another punch. I would recommend reconsidering the context of the kata. My personal belief on kata is that it's not against multiple opponents. We're talking about one opponent. It just happens to be shifting places depending on our body orientation. So I've got an opponent here, and if I want to step off the side, the kata is going to say, turn. And that's either slightly before I've engaged the person, or while or manipulating them because I want to get them in a position of disadvantage. So, judo, you hear kazushi a lot. Some BJJ schools, they talk about kazushi, off balancing. Karate, depends on the dojo, you'll hear kazushi. Breaking of posture. Controlling the elbow is like one of the easiest things to do. In fact, I think in Aikido they call it ikkyo, the first principle. Move the elbow, move the shoulders, move the body, move the body. You can also move the head right away. So where the head goes, body follows. But also, guess what? Where the elbow goes, the body follows. So even on your shukas, you can push the elbow, right? He is off center. Right. So I suggest that if you're not practicing within gripping distance, small grabs, collar grabs, pummeling. This is self-defense and life protection art. So you're not going to get advance warning of somebody bowing to you, getting a heat on eye, and throwing a punch from the perfect chambered karate punch from halfway across the room and standing here like a statue waiting for you to do 30 things. It's grabbing, gripping, surprise. What do you do when somebody grabs a hold of you and has malice of intent? And some of that answer is also going to depend on your age and your body structure. Are you smaller framed? Are you larger framed? Are you young? Are you old? If you're young and you're large framed, you're probably going to be more interested in the wrestling side of things. If you're older and smaller framed, you're probably going to go towards the 280 side of things. I'm kind of somewhere in between. I'm slightly older and also not a small guy, but I'm definitely not a big guy, so I'm somewhere in between. So I like to have a little bit of everything in my own personal arsenal. So yeah, change the distance at which you're operating. And if you're here, you're too far away. If you're here, this is kata. This is kickboxing. This is kata. Kickboxing, kata. So just a suggestion, just a recommendation for the three of you that this might ever reach. Anyway, thanks for indulging my rambling thoughts, and that now almost 6 in the morning. So I'm gonna go make some coffee. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time. Have a good evening, or good morning. Sorry, good to have a great day.